In a world that moves too fast, this is your invitation to pause, to explore the space between thought and wonder, where science meets story and emotion meets insight. Here, curiosity is more than a question. It's a way of being. You found your corner of calm and contemplation. This is nerdy psychology. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.
Hi there, nerdy minds. Welcome back to Food for Thought Fridays, where we serve up psychology one bite at a time. I'm Dr. Angel, and today we are unpacking one of the most misunderstood but absolutely vital topics in trauma healing. What happens inside your brain when you've lived through trauma? Okay, imagine this. You're driving to work, the radio on, coffee in hand, and a car suddenly swerves in front of you. Your heart starts pounding and your hands are gripping the wheel, and your stomach, it drops like a roller coaster. Now, imagine that reaction happens when you get an unexpected text. That's the world of trauma. The brain's alarm system doesn't always know the difference between danger and discomfort. It just says, not safe, and it hits the panic button. Today, we're going to explore, chapters 4, 5, and 6 of The Body Keeps Score, where Dr. Bessel shows us how trauma rewires the brain and our bodies, and what it takes to feel safe again. If you've ever wondered why logic doesn't stop panic or why your body seems to overreact, hit the like and subscribe and grab your tea, because we're about to get both scientific and soul deep. Let's talk about the overview of these 3 chapters. These 3 chapters, running for your life, body-brain connections, and losing your body, losing yourself. They reveal something profound. Trauma isn't just about memory. It's about the body's ongoing attempt to survive the past and the present. Understanding why you feel a certain way doesn't change how you feel. We love to think that insight equals healing, that if we can just understand our trauma, we'll stop feeling it. But understanding lives in the thinking brain, and trauma, that lives deeper in the emotional brain and in your body. The Anatomy of Survival, Dr. Kolk explores how the brain's alarm system, how especially the amygdala, is designed to keep us alive. When danger appears, it fires up adrenaline and cortisol, speeding up the heart, sharpening your focus, and preparing your body to fight, flee, or freeze. But trauma changes this calibration. Once the system learns that the world's not safe, the amygdala, it starts firing at the slightest hint of danger or discomfort or threat. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, your rational executive brain that says, we're okay now, shut it down. The hippocampus, which organizes the memories, time, it gets scrambled. So traumatic events feel like, they're happening now, not then. That's why a sound or a smell or a tone of voice can just trigger panic, even when nothing's wrong. It's not overreaction. It's the brain's survival circuit, it's doing its job too well. It's like your brain's smoke detector, and it starts going off for burnt toast, or even when someone mentions the word toast. The more frazzled we are, the more our rational brains take a backseat to our emotions. the body-brain connection. In this chapter, Dr. Kolk dives into how trauma impacts not just our brain, but our automatic nervous system. That wiring that controls your breathing and your heartbeat and your digestion. When we face danger, the sympathetic system hits the gas pedal, heart races, muscles tense, pupils widen, and when safety returns, the parasympathetic nervous system should tap the brakes, helping us to rest, digest, and recover. But trauma survivors often stay stuck with the gas pedal pressed to the floor. They live in this chronic hyperarousal, alert, jumpy, reactive, or just as often, they might get stuck with the brakes locked down and they might feel flat, numb, disconnected. The first order of business is to find ways to cope with feeling overwhelmed by the sensations and emotions associated with the past. Ever met someone who says, I am exhausted, but I can't relax? That's a nervous system that's caught between red alert and shutdown. Dr. Kolk also describes the vagus nerve. That's the super highway connecting your brain and your body. And when trauma keeps this nerve dysregulated, the signals that say you're safe never reach your brain. So the body, it just keeps bracing for impact. Dr. Kolk writes, trauma robs you of the feeling that you're in charge of yourself. When you can't control your body's reactions, it starts to feel like you just can't trust yourself at all. Over time, many survivors disconnect from their bodies because, well, feeling the body feels too dangerous. They stop noticing hunger or pleasure or pain or emotion. They live in their heads and they're cut off from their own internal worlds. When people are chronically out of sync with their internal signals, they lose their sense of self. It's like running your life from a control tower, but never actually flying the plane. You can see the storm, but you can't feel the wind. And that disconnect keeps us stuck. Trauma is much more than a story about something that happened a long time ago. The emotions and physical sensations are experienced not as memories, but as disruptive physical reactions to the present. Together, these chapters explain why trauma isn't psychological weakness, it's a physiological adaptation. The brain learned to protect you by, scanning for danger at all times. And the problem is, once the danger is gone, no one tells the alarm system. The mind says, I'm safe, but the body says, are you sure? Healing begins when we stop fighting that alarm and start listening to it, teaching the body that it doesn't have to live in survival anymore. The amygdala is our internal smoke detector. It's a small, almond-shaped and always scanning for threat. When it detects danger, it sends an SOS through your entire body. Your heart is racing, your muscles tighten, your breathing becomes shallow. The engines of post-traumatic reactions are located in our emotional brain. Imagine living in an apartment where the smoke alarm goes off every time you toast bread. Well, after a while, you stop trusting it, or worse. You start living on the edge, waiting for it to go off again and again and again. And over time, this constant false alarm teaches the body that this world is just unsafe. That's why survivors often struggle with hypervigilance, scanning for danger, or reading every room, tensing even in rest. The hippocampus, that's the memory keeper. it loses track of time. When trauma happens, our hippocampus, which sorts our memory from past to present, stops doing its job. That's why a smell or a sound can make you feel like you're right back there again, like living it in the moment. It's not imagination, it's neurological replay. Think of how music can instantly transport you. You know, a breakup song can make your chest ache like it's happening right now. That's how trauma memories work. But instead of a song, it might be a scent, a tone of voice, or even a look on someone's face. The prefrontal cortex, now that's our reasoning center, and that goes offline. Yes, you heard me. It goes offline. The prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO, it just goes quiet during trauma. And that's why people say or do things under stress that they later cannot explain. You can't think your way calm when your survival brain is screaming. Why can't we just be reasonable? The rational brain cannot abolish emotions, sensations, or thoughts. You know logically that a door slam, isn't dangerous, but your body reacts before your brain has a chance to even analyze it. It's not overreacting, it's overprotecting. And then our nervous system. So that's the gas pedal and the brake. Our automatic nervous system has two modes, the sympathetic gas pedal and the parasympathetic brake. And in trauma, the wiring between them gets stuck. Some people live in constant hyperarousal, like anxiety and restlessness and irritability and intrusive thoughts, while others live in shutdown, chronic fatigue, numbness, disconnection, struggling to just enjoy life or feel pleasure. As long as the body is in a state of hyperarousal, any attempt at therapy is likely to be limited. Think of like driving a car with one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake. You're burning out the engine without getting anywhere. So when people live too long in survival mode, they start to distrust their own internal world. The body becomes foreign territory. Pleasure, rest, even calm can feel, suspicious. Trauma robs you of the feeling that you're in charge of yourself. This is why healing often starts with learning to feel safe, not diving into trauma memories right away, but slowly rebuilding trust with your own body. As a therapist, I have seen this pattern so many times. Clients who know intellectually they're safe, but whose bodies never got the memo. They say things like, I know my partner is not the abuser, but my body just doesn't believe me, or I can't even relax, even when I'm trying. Healing isn't about convincing the brain with logic. It's about re-educating the body with experience. And that's why trauma-informed therapies use body-based interventions. Things like mindfulness or EMDR or yoga or movement or breath work. Each one teaches the body how to experience safety without shutting down. In order to regain control over yourself, you need to revisit the trauma, but only after you feel safe and will not be re-traumatized by it. Safety first, then story. The body learns safety before the brain learns peace. This week, I want to invite you to notice how your brain and body dance with each other. Do you mostly live in your head? Are you analyzing? Or are you in your body reacting? Neither's wrong. They're just trying to work together. When do you feel most alert or on edge? And what helps you come back down? What sensations tell you you're safe? And what sensations make you brace for danger? How do you respond when calm feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable? For real change to take place, the body needs to learn that the danger has passed and to live in the reality of the present. Your brain isn't broken. It's brilliant. It's learned to keep you alive. But now you have to teach it something new, that you made it through. You survived, and it's safe to start living again. This week, take 60 seconds each day to check in with your body. Ask, what are you feeling? What do you need right now? That's the beginning of healing. Next Friday, we are going to explore part 3, the minds of children, where we'll see how early relationships shape our brains and emotions for life. Until then, be curious, stay kind, and keep your mind nerdy. That's a wrap. See you next Friday.
You found your corner of calm and contemplation. This is nerdy psychology. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.